Okay, now we're live, so let's see what happens. We got to give everybody a second here to get back over to here because there was a bunch of people already on the other stream. So let's see if this loads and if everybody gets their notifications and we can go from here. So it's going to take a minute for all this to try to get reset. So if you're with us on Facebook, please bear with us as everybody tries to get switched over to the new stream from the stream that locked up on YouTube. So we'll give it a second here, see if we're going to get going. Looks like we got a few people starting to jump over here. Maybe. I thought maybe it would have sent a notification that it was live again, but who knows? I could have screwed up. They could still be on the other live. Who knows? Typically, if there's one live going, it won't let you feed on another one. There's Waycamp. Mark's here. All right. Looks like we are slowly getting switched over to the new feed. There's Andy. Rusty Oakie's here. All good on his end. Okay. So looks like we are starting to come back up, and everybody's hopefully getting the notifications on this feed. It did lock itself up again. I tried to refresh and said live was not available because it was still recognizing the other live. So we'll see. There's not very many people on here yet, though. There's a whole bunch of other people on the other feeds. So let's see what happens here. If everybody gets switched over before we get too far into things. Because it doesn't look like Dad says we are live on both. So perfect. Appreciate that, Randy. Andy got it up in the Facebook group. So hopefully that means that I didn't try to. YouTube did. There, we're starting to come around. There's Andy. Charles is here. Mark wants to do an auction before anybody else gets on. There you go. Okay. What toys do we have tonight, Terry? The only thing I got toy-wise tonight to check out is a promo. I did get a promo model out, and there's a reason I got it out. So excited about the promo tonight. Don't really have any toys in the auction pile tonight. We got cans, caps, grease caps, hubcaps, emblems, license plates. Jeff from Ottawa's here. So the only toy we're going to check out tonight is the promo model. We are giving this toy away next week, though, so make sure your name is in the big Buick oil can for the raffle next week on the Little Tonka toy truck. Guy on the car guy made it tonight, Kevin L. All right, looks like we're back up and starting to get boogie in here. There's JP. Okay. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully everything hangs together, and hopefully if there's not anybody else hanging on the other feed. So, but obviously I was swamped this week with John's here with the F&E Collector Auto Auction. Totally VW made it. And also, real quick, before I get into the auction stuff, because that's going to take a few minutes, and then we'll just kind of bounce around and out on what I've got, slide in some auction bits and pieces here and there, and we'll see if we can have a good time tonight. I'm kind of tired. I ain't going to lie. It's been a long week for me, to say the least. My partner and I, Chris Frosher with Car Auction Real Estate, we do this deal together, and all week I'd get to the shop 6:45, 7 in the morning, package shipments, and then take off and head out to the expo grounds 8:15, 8:30, and I was out there all day, every day, getting things ready. 66, 67 Chevelle 4-door. I do not have any 4-doors in 6s or 7s, Terry, depending on what you needed, whether it may fit off of another car. But the only thing I've got in 6 and 7 is a 66 2-door. So obviously my week has been extremely busy But we had a good auction, sold about 2/3 of the cars, which is about typical. That's pretty much kind of an industry average. And so it was a successful weekend, just a long weekend for me. So there were a lot of you guys did make it, which is awesome. Austin was here, Pete was here, Charles was here, JP was here, Tractor Mike made it. There's Bill Disc. So it was great to see a lot of you guys, and we had a great time. I think Charles bought a few pieces of memorabilia. I know Austin got some memorabilia, and Pete got a car. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well. That's right, John Sanderson was there. There's probably one or two other ones that I missed. Not that I was a little busy yesterday, but it was a good time. But obviously, as always, before we get too far into anything, a little bit of housekeeping. Please double check your comments if I can't understand your comment. If the autocorrect changes something I can't understand, I will have to skip it. I try to catch most comments, but I do skip them if I can't understand them. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. If you just want to hang out and watch there, you're fine there. But if you want to comment, participate in the auctions, you'll need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls on here. You guys do a great job making sure they know they're not welcome. We have some other people to help us out with that as well. But when we have one sneak up there, it's always great to try. You guys do a great job of running them out. Super chats are always super awesome. We have the super chat, supercharged super chat badge ready to go at all times for super chats. And ads, of course, we are dealing with ads. It's their game, it's their system. Isn't a lot else we can do. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan Fairchild, Dry Lake Brewing, hang out with us on Facebook. Do not have any 40 Ford pickup grills, Ralph. No 37 Zephyrs at all, Terry. Yeah, the Oldsmobile did sell. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. The C30 fire truck did sell as well. So, like I said, we sold about 2/3 of the cars, which realistically is kind of an industry average, depending on wherever you go. Whether it's other than like Barrett Jackson, where it's all no reserve, but any of the reserve auctions, a lot of the Meekums, a lot of the other smaller auctions, is about 2/3 is about what you're going to get. You're always going to have some people that are just not realistic, that think their stuff is just worth way more than what it really is. That did not sell, Ryan. That's still available. Maybe you should pick that up. The little John Deere sold. The little crawler did not sell. It is available. If anybody wants that little crawler, just call me tomorrow. We can work out a deal. He wants to sell it. So that little crawler is still available. Yeah, that's right. When they pulled the fire truck in, they had all the lights going. It was pretty cool. And it stayed local. The fire truck is staying local too. So, but like I said, it's a busy day for me. And like I said, when you hit around 2/3, that's about an industry average. You know, when you look at whether you have 100 cars or 1,000 cars, that 2/3 average, 66, 67%, realistically is just about where you're going to end up with at most sales. I don't have any fastbacks, Terry. I've got a buddy that has some. If you want to give me a call, depending on what you want, or whether you want just a Mustang Project or Shelby's or whatever you need, I've got a buddy that has a lot of that stuff. So because at every auction you go to, there's going to be some cars that you think should sell and are just flat on the internet and on the floor. It just happens. Every year there's always a few cars that I think are going to have no problem hitting reserve, and they're just flat. It just happens. And I don't know why it happens, but it happens. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you're always going to have some people who just aren't realistic. Hey, there's Dennis. You know, and there's always people that just think that their stuff is worth way more than it is. And the reality of it is sometimes it's not that way. He doesn't have any roofs, just cars, Terry. Yes, yeah, the 72 Caprice did sell, and it stayed local. Hey, there's Austin. Hey, Buick Man made it. Tweedledee, I don't remember getting anything from you the last couple days, Tweedledee. I'm not sure. Hey, Nate's on with us, so. Yep, you can just pick up the wagon, JP. Charles is here. So that's kind of what you run into when you do one of these deals. Hey, Dan from Defiance. So that's just what happens. You know, unless you go to Barrett Jackson where it's just flat, no reserve, we're running it through, and when we drop the hammer, it sells. You know, and Barrett is big enough they can get away with a lot of that, but those crowds are still absolutely full of dealers. Nothing there at all, Terry. Nothing at all in a 39 to 40 COE Chevy. It is a great book, isn't it, John? So so that's just what happens at those deals. But like I said, running no reserve at Barrett, even though it's a huge auction with a ton of exposure, it's still a risk, and that's why those crowds are full of dealers. I know there was I've got a buddy that has sent several Corvettes to Barrett Jackson, and he was telling me one time there was a guy he knew that did a C2 Fuelie, like a 58, 59, 60 era fuel car. And when they fired it up to drive it across the auction block at Barrett, you bet, Terry, no problem, the thing was just hammering. The engine was just hammering when they pulled it up. But there again, it was Barrett Jackson. It was no reserve. The car sold for 30 or 40% less than what it should have. And there is nothing you can do about it as a seller. Nothing. Because it is no reserve and they are selling it. And then come to find out after the fact, the harmonic balancer came apart. The motor was perfectly fine. When they'd had the original harmonic balancer rebuilt, they messed it up. The rubber slipped in the harmonic balancer and it was making a bunch of ragged. And that car was like 40 or 50 grand under where it should have been. And there isn't anything you can do about it. It's too late. It's going across the block, no reserve. Hey, there's Big Job. Okay, sounds good, Tweedledee. Oh, hey, check it out. Check it out. Randy with the Nut Farm hitting us up with a supercharged super chat. Boom, right there. Kicking off the first super chat of the night from Randy Ellenberger with the Nut Farm. Boom. Supercharged super chat, the original 3536 Auburn Boat Tail Speedster, supercharged side hood badge emblem. There again, Terry, 30s Ford is an extremely broad topic. You know, you got 30, 31 Model A, 32, 33, 34. I mean, I've got a little bit of stuff, Terry. That's a huge question there. So like I said, overall, you know, we haven't even started to look at any numbers. We got some cars out of there today. Got a few more to go. Got our monitors down. Got quite a bit of work done out there today, actually. So we're in pretty good shape. Should have our podium and everything done in the morning and have a lot of the hard work done. Got to get some cars shipped out and lots of other things going on. But by tomorrow, by the end of the day tomorrow, I should be, in theory, getting back to a somewhat normal schedule. In theory, we'll see how that works out. But I did ship some stuff Tuesday or Wednesday from the stuff that sold last week and it got paid for right away. Any late payments since then? I think there were a few, but I think it was mainly raffle tickets. There was a few late payments. I shouldn't say late, just later in the week, which meant they just flat didn't get shipped. Hey, there's John right there. So I'll be back on that stuff. Videos, we'll be back on a normal schedule. Forgot to do a live Friday night. I just got busy. And Pete and Austin, they didn't remind me. That's a good plan. Pete and Austin didn't remind me to do a live Friday night. So let's blame them, right? Okay, that works for me. So it and that does happen sometimes, Buick, man. If people don't know for sure what it is, that doesn't. If you got 2 or 3 people who know what it is, it helps. But if you don't have anybody that knows what it is, it isn't good. So, and like Pete says, that's the entire reason we started doing it. Is they're fun. Me and Tractor Mike started going to Meekums in like 2013, and we just thought, this is a good time. Hudson badge. And what the heck, we're starting a little late. Ann Arbor badge. So that's when in car auction real estate in Lorna, Kansas, they've been around since 1965 when Chris's grandpa, Larry, started the company. And I had been doing work with him anyway on appraisals and things like that. So, I just went and sat down and said, look, guys, I think there's an opportunity to do something like this as a regional type deal. And that's kind of what we've been doing. So, and that's the whole purpose of, like Pete said, it's just a good time. Hang out with your buddies, drink some beer, eat some barbecue, look at a ton of cars, and you never know, you might take one home. Yeah, that's true, Ryan. That's true. Beer, the real bitter's assistant. That's kind of what it amounts to. But anyway, if you guys have been on the Nobody's page, Pete did throw up a picture of the Camaro that he did add to his collection this weekend. So if you haven't seen that, I think he threw that up a little earlier today. Yep. Pete got a picture of the Camaro posted. So great looking car. I'm excited that he got it. When I listed the car initially, he was the first person that I thought of. The Nobody's page, if you're not on there, jump on there, answer the questions. Andy's on right now. He will get you in. Andy and Zach moderate that for us. I don't have anything to do with it. So jump in, hit the questions, check out the pictures of Pete's Camaro. Yeah, the guys in the back corner, that's quite a crew. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, Heather, or Austin. As you guys can see, Heather did survive the attempted kidnapping. So yes, Heather is still here. She did make it through the attempted kidnapping, and she's still here seeing over us once again, even though Austin did try to kidnap her. So you need to get on the Nobody's page and check some of this stuff out. Oh, man. But anyway, the guys in the back corner over by the bathrooms, there's a group that always hangs out there, have for years. That is their spot. So last year, they don't encourage him. Then next time he's here, he may try to actually do it. So last year, we started putting a bar there for him. You guys that were here at the gathering of the Nobodies saw the front end bars that I've got, the 65 Chevy truck and the 55 Ford truck bars. We take those bars out there and we gave those guys in the corner their own spot. We put it right where they've always hung out. We put that bar there and they love it. They did not tailgate this year, which was kind of odd. That whole crew typically tailgates in the morning. They'll have Blackstones out there. They'll cook eggs, bacon, sausage, drinking Bloody Marys. And that's at 7:30 before we get things cooking. Hey, Scott's with us on Facebook. So, yeah, they didn't tailgate this year. A bunch of them went out for breakfast, but some of the hardcore ones were like, man, we missed the tailgate. But yeah, and they're a great group of guys. They're all great people, fun to hang out with. I've known most of them for years. So, I'm not sure if one of them bought the bucket, the Dodge, Ryan. Is that the one you're talking about, the green Dodge? Because that group didn't get that. I know one of that group got the fire truck. No, that guy picked that up today. It went to Dodge. I don't think he was hanging out in that group. But one of the guys in that group, they did get the fire truck. That lifted 78 Chevy 4-wheel drive, I think, was part of that group. But there's always a few things that go into that group every year. No, Unruh's got the Lincoln. They were back in the bleachers. That's where those guys always sit, is back in the bleachers. A couple buddies of mine, Grant and Odie, they actually owned the trash service around here. In fact, I need to go out and see those guys and do some stuff. Any of you guys like motorcycles? Is there any motorcycle guys on here? But the black Lincoln, the Unruh brothers got that. The black Chevy Coupe, yeah, that was a nice car. It was, but that's also one of those deals where that really starts to show where that market is going. Because that was a nice car. We just couldn't get the money on it on that little 38 Chevy Coupe. But there just isn't a lot of the guys out there anymore that remember them. So neat little car, but just doesn't have the demand to push the numbers on those cars that they used to. So yeah, pretty excited about it. But the Unruhs, they just sold their trash company, but those guys do Harleys. And when I say they do Harleys, I'm talking like really, really old stuff. That's where she hangs out, Eisen. But they build engines. I think they've got a piston that they've got patented for early Harleys. When I say early Harleys, I'm talking teens and 20s stuff. The Cannonball Baker run, the Cannonball Baker motorcycle run that is like pre-24 bikes, like over half the bikes on that run at this point are running their engines. So those guys do some cool stuff. We should go out and visit with those knuckleheads sometimes. And when I say I use the term knuckleheads, I don't use that term loosely with those guys, because they're just like us. They're a bunch of knuckleheads. Even though they do mess with Harleys, they're knuckleheads just like all of us. So, but they're a blast to hang out with. So we should do some stuff with them. When you mentioned the black Lincoln, that kind of reminded me that we should go out and do some content with those guys on their Harleys. Yeah, that's true, Kevin. I knew you were a motorcycle guy. I appreciate that, Buick man. Hit the like button. Oh, that's right. The tractor and the Oldsmobile did go to the bunch by the restrooms as well. That's right. So yeah, it was a good time. It's a long day for me. It really is. And that's why, like John, I never even got a minute to even catch Sanderson. Saw him, waved at him, but the day just gets boogieing really, really quickly. And before we know it, it's gone. For me, the whole week kind of builds up. We got, Monday we go out there, we go out to the yard, we get the podium out, we go haul it out, start getting it set up, get a lot of our ducks in a row on Monday. And then, and this year we had some rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we actually had a bunch of cars come in Monday afternoon. Hey, there's Frank, which, really kind of made things even weirder because we usually don't get a lot of cars. We got like 8 or 10 cars on Monday. David D here with us. And then it just kind of builds up throughout the whole week as more cars come in. Several cars got consigned this week that we didn't even know about. And it just builds and builds and builds until Saturday. And then Saturday is just full speed ahead until that last car rolls across the block. And then we can kind of start regrouping again. So, but anyway, went well. Excited that Pete got one, Dad got one, and everybody had a lot of fun, and that's what's important. So you can check out some of the stuff I threw up on the Mike from Texas is here. You guys can check out what's going on the there is an F&E YouTube channel. There's an F&E Facebook page. And so you can check all that stuff out as well as the website. We will have all the results up on the website probably sometime later this week. If you want to check results right now, you can go to the website and hit the bid now button and go to the proxy bid catalog, and that will show you the final bids on a lot of that stuff as well. So, but as far as what people got, Dad and Pete got the Camaro. If you guys have not jumped over onto the No Buddies page and checked the Camaro out, be sure to do that. Check out a picture of Austin's sign. But I did like that sign, Austin. I was thinking about bidding on that too, but I was glad you got it. And you posted a picture. And I was going to ask you too, was your dad looking for a DX sign or something? Is that why you wanted to get that and you had a picture of him? I appreciate that, guy. Glad you like the videos. But definitely check out the Camaro that Pete got. A great looking rally sport with T-tops. That was one of Pete's primary objectives. Hey, there's Randy Weiniger. Just got back from a DuckTales rod run and James Dean rod run. That is back to back. Yeah. Okay. I seen you posted that he does collect DX stuff. So is that the first like DX porcelain sign that he's got? Sanderson didn't get anything, but had a good time. Well, I'm glad you had fun. Hey, there's Glenn. That's it was the first sign he's got, even though he likes DX. That's awesome, Austin. I'm glad you ended up with it and got it to him. But anyway, so Pete got the Camaro. Dad bought another Corvette, a 76 coupe, red, black interior, and it's a pretty sharp car too. So we'll probably bring you a video or something on it here soon. Mark from Missouri. Excuse me, Mark. But what it all boils down to, and just like, Pete and Austin and a lot of these, and, John, and of course, Nate was there. A lot of you guys have been commenting, and I know I'm missing a few. Charles. It's a good time. There's a lot of things happening. You get to see a lot of cool cars. You get to have some fun. You drink some beer. You eat some barbecue. You hang out with your buddies. And you never know. You may take one home at the end of the day. That's why we do it. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys that did make it had a blast. And like Pete said, keep it in mind for next year, kind of this time of the year. And hey, there's Tony. And like I've always told you guys, I don't have a lot of time while we're there, but it's awesome seeing all you guys hanging out together and having a good time. So that's kind of the recap as far as how F&E went this year. That doesn't sound like fun, Glenn. Yeah, I agree, John. That's a great Camaro. I know Pete's excited about it. Oh man. But anyway, since hopefully I will be getting back to normal, we'll get videos back on track. There will be new content obviously coming up this week from 2 weeks ago for public videos, as well as some new member-only videos coming this week. Well, I guess it's better than being on the interstate in traffic, Glenn. So we'll get back on track on videos. I'll get back on track on getting your guys' stuff shipped to you on the few things that are still hanging. Speaking of stuff that's still hanging, tomorrow, or the 1st of October is later this week. So once again, anything prior to September, will be pulled back out and be back into the auction pile. So, and ready to go for, again, and like I said, I understand sometimes it just doesn't happen as far as getting paid. Not a big deal. I just can't let the stuff pile up for months and months and years and years. So anyway, but yeah, we even did sell that dragster too. So it, like I said, it was a good weekend. Had a lot of fun. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Glenn? That's a sharp car, isn't it? I thought you were going to sneak up there yesterday, Glenn. I was kind of looking forward to seeing you. I saw a couple of your other cohorts in crime today, but actually, Glenn, you should have seen us today. Today was kind of interesting. A couple of Glenn's buddies were out here, and they bought 2 side-by-sides. Okay? He brings one trailer, which 2 side-by-sides will fit on one trailer, like 24-foot trailer. Okay? Understandable. Can make that work. The little crawler didn't sell. It is still available. He wants to sell it. It got bid to like $1,500, but it is available and he does want to sell it. If one of you guys are interested in that little crawler, let me know because he does want to sell that thing. It had some action, just not quite as much as I thought it should have had, but it is still available and it is for sale. Hudson badge. So anyway, we're trying to load these side-by-sides. And but it had a tilt trailer. It was like 24-foot deck, but like the first 4 or 6 feet are fixed, and then you've got the tilt part. So we had to try to load these things before it tilted. Even though we had the valve closed to keep it upright, we didn't quite have enough room. I got like half of the back tire of the back one on when the other one was about to fall off the front. So it was pretty tricky, but we got them on. That's all that mattered. So, But anyway, speaking of auctions, who's ready to do a few? Obviously, I threw some extra stuff in the pile tonight because I didn't have. Yeah, we got them, Glenn. We did get them, but the problem was once we finally got it exactly where we needed them to be, then when we tried to release it, then it wouldn't release either. So then we had to jump on the front of the trailer to get it to go. We did get her finally, but it was interesting to say the least. But it was tight and tricky, but we made them work. So anyway, we do have some other stuff to talk about tonight, but we can start throwing some auction stuff in here, whatever you guys think we need to do. Like I said, I'm pretty loose tonight. Knew that you guys wanted a recap of F&E and how things went there. Yeah, both of them were here, Glenn. So Gerald was trying to run the valve, and I was in the back side by side. Dennis was in the front side by side, and it was kind of like, how many monkeys does it take to get it 2 side by sides on a trailer? But that's kind of what we looked like. But we did get them finally. So it was interesting to say the least. I need to leave. My neck is sore for some reason. I don't know what my problem is. Yeah, it probably would have been, John. My tripod was there. I probably should have set it up. But yeah, it was. I probably should have set the tripod up to get that. No, Glenn, he did not bring anything to sell this year. So he said he's been too busy dealing with airplanes. Yeah, and those were some pretty nice side-by-sides. But in our area, Great Bend is based right on the Arkansas River. So side-by-sides and ATVs, because we had some ATVs as well, that genre of specialty vehicle is pretty popular in our area. So there's always some of those that show up as well, besides just collector cars, because that is a pretty big hobby type thing in our area, living with Great Bend being based right on the Arkansas River. Hudson badge. Yeah, well, I know we say it different than you guys do. So anyway, are we ready to do some auction stuff? What did I get? I got some cans, some grease caps, some hubcaps. Oh, license plates. The big, huge load that I got a couple weeks ago. I looked at it this morning. I spent a little bit of time with it this morning. I obviously did not have near enough time to actually sort it, but I did spend a little bit of time looking through some of the boxes, some of the new boxes, some of the used boxes, and I ended up with a pretty good handful, like 8 or 10 of them, that are going to give you guys kind of an idea of what is in this stuff. Yeah, that's right, Gal. The snipers they're heading up to the hills with to sight things in. So I've got a mixture of license plates, older stuff, newer stuff, used stuff, new old stock stuff. And like I said, nowhere near that. I mean, it's going to take hours to actually sort this. But I did take enough time to kind of pick and choose to give you guys just an idea of what is in this stuff on license plates. Got some cool grease caps and a lot of great stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's true, Pete. You could have. There's a guy looking for me, buddy of mine. Let me tell him what's going on. Okay. Pawnee County 2628. Like the number 2628, Ryan? Is that what you're looking for? Yep. But you guys didn't know where they were at either, so no idea if I have number 2628 for Pawnee County. I have to keep that in mind. But anyway, let's do a couple of them here and kind of give you guys an idea of the variety that is in this deal. Like I said, it didn't fill my long bed pickup, but it filled a lot of my long bed pickup. Just in plates. So as always, we'll go 90 seconds. So we'll hold something up. We'll talk about it. I'll give you the dimensions. We'll talk about condition. We'll go 90 seconds. On the auction, at the end of 90 seconds, the high bid that I see on my screen will be declared the winner. All small stuff again tonight, so shipping will be included in the 48 states. If you're a non-U.S. buyer, you can play along. However, you will be responsible for getting me paid in U.S. funds as well as non-U.S. shipping, since this kind of feeds itself. And if we spend a fortune on non-U.S. shipping, it wouldn't continue to feed itself very well. So anyway, we'll start off with some license plates. We've got some really early ones that we haven't seen before. We got a lot of cool stuff in plates. So we'll get a few of these plates, maybe grab a can and one of these cup caps or grease caps, or we got all kinds of cool stuff. We'll start off with kind of a mediocre plate, but what's cool about this is it's a twofer deal, the way it comes. This one's kind of banged up because it was used, and it was definitely used a little bit tough. But what's cool about it is the add-on. A 1960 Kansas truck with a regular tag attached to it. So this was probably on an old farm pickup. I'm assuming this may be regular fuel. I don't know. It just says regular. This one's kind of banged up a bit, bent up a bit. Still has pretty decent colors. Nice bright white with blue letters and numbers. This obviously is a 60 that goes with it because it is the exact same colors and font. But these things have been screwed together for 65 years. This is how I found them. This is how they came. This is how they're going to stay together. Now, this is a standard size, roughly 6x12 plate, like your normal license plate. The regular is just under 3x10. So these came, some of these, we've seen these that said farm. We've seen the weights on them. This one just says regular. 1960 Rush County farm truck plate with regular on it. So anyway, John at 10 kicking us off. And here we go. We're live and on the timer on the 1960 Rush County truck. Coming up on the 30-second mark. It is cool, John. No doubt about it. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Hey, there's Big Rig Brett. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. That's right, big job, because we're coming down towards the end. Ron at 15. Ron sneaking in there. Haven't seen or heard anything out of him tonight. Hubcap Dylan 17. And that does it. Hubcap Dylan at 17. Ron had an 18, but it was too late. All right, let's grab another one. And then maybe do a cap or something, or some of these emblems, or man, there's stuff everywhere. Let's see what we got here. Yep, it did go. It went well, Brett. I don't know what this is because it says drive carefully and enjoy tomorrow. John Anderson Jr., Governor. See what we got. This one has some of the packaging is gone off of it, so let's just slide the package off of it and see what's in here. $1962. Two-digit 1962. Commercial trailer 15. So you are a junior. So were you the governor in 1962? John starting us off at 10 because his name is on the package. This one does have a little bit of rust damage here on the edge where the package was torn away. But, you know, this hasn't been polished. This hasn't been waxed. Fresh out of the envelope from 1962. Not much else to say about it. I mean, it is what it is. John starting us off at 10 because his name is on the envelope, so let's go ahead and go with it. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Ron, 12. That's right, John. You could do that. Well, next time if I got another one, John at 20. If I've got another one of these or something in this area while he was governor, I'll write an S on the package before we hold it up. How's that sound, John? One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. We'll see, big job. We're coming down to the end here. John at 20. Ron, 21. And that gets it done. Ron at 21 at the last second. John came back at a 22. Mark had a 21, but they were all too late. Ron at 21. Okay. What else do we want to do? Hubcaps, grease caps, oil cans, emblems. We got all kinds of cool stuff. Let's grab something else, and then we'll catch a promo model and a brochure and some of that other fun stuff yet tonight. Yeah, that's I mean, there's some guys on here who are pretty good. So, anybody want to do an oil can? Or caps or tools, or let's do it. Okay. Silly question. Yeah. Yeah. This is a new old stock metal can. It is full. Just like always, if I have to ship it, I will have to drain it. If it's pickup, I will put it in your box and leave it full. This one is not a super rare one, but the fact that it's still a metal can means it's got to be, pushing 60 years old and still looks amazing on this good looking original Quaker State. Look at the shine on this thing. Couple little scuffs over here, but this is original paint. We can see the seam over here. There goes the hearts. Information on the back. This is SAE 2020 Quaker State HD oil. So good looking piece. I don't see a year or anything on it, but probably 60s era. So when you figure, if it's somewhere in the 60s, it's got to be right at 60 years old and still looks like this. I mean, come on, right? So let's go ahead and get rolling on it. Somebody start us off on the Quaker State metal quart. Metal paint. This one is not in the book, actually. Guile at 15, I looked, and this one is not in there. So I don't remember that part, Ryan, but it does make me kind of want to watch it now. Guile started us off at 15 as we kick off the timer on the Quaker State quart. Check out the shine on that one. I think it was, John. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Guile at 15. They still had metal in 74, so maybe this could be early 70s then, so probably maybe 50 years old. Still looks pretty good for 50 years old. For something supposed to be thrown in the trash. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Guile at 15. Ron, 18. Guile at 22. Few seconds left. Ron, 23. And that does it. Ron at 23. Guile had a 25 in there, but it was too late. Oh, my air's kicking off on me. The window unit that I've got in here, when you just turn it on normally, if you don't change the settings, it's on economy mode, which means it cycles itself for some based on some unknown parameters because it's got a thermostat on it, but it'll be hot in here. My thermometer will show 80, and this thing will be off, even though it's set on, it can be set on 73 and be off, and the thermometer showing 80. So no idea what kind of parameters this economy setting works off of, but I am sure it's something that the EPA and the government thought was a great plan at that point when they were designing window unit air conditioners. Racks on both fuel islands. Quaker State was popular. Oh, Ryan just sent me the clip. Awesome. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm sitting here talking to you guys and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter and it doesn't kick on and it doesn't kick on. So I just actually turned it to the cool setting. So hopefully it works for a while. Hudson badge. How about a promo model? Or do you want to do another license plate? Or you want to do an emblem? Or you want to do a hubcap? What do you want to do? We got stuff piled everywhere, stuff to talk about, things to do, places to be, people to see, cool junk to buy, right? Oh, emblems. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see, we got some Buick, some Mopar, some Ford truck. Ooh, we got a cool Cadillac too. All of the above. Hey, Hudson here tonight on Facebook. How about a cool little Cadillac one? This isn't a high dollar emblem, it's a small emblem, but it's super cool. We sold it several months ago. It never got paid for. You want to do a Cadillac emblem? Some Pontiac stars. Look at this little Cadillac. It's a great emblem. I love it. I think it's worth a lot of money because I think it's super cool, but it's not worth a lot of money. It's just a cool piece. This is a little early 60s Cadillac badge. It's just cool. It's just neat. Nice, Hudson. Check this little dude out. Early 60s era, just a cute little emblem. 4 inches by just under an inch. So it's only 4 inches long. It is flat. It was screwed onto the back, which the mounting bosses are kind of corroded away. But just a cool little. You guys want to do? You want to do this one, or you want to throw some more stuff in? You want something different? I just like this one, which doesn't hurt my feelings at all. If you guys don't want to bid on it, because I'll keep it because it's cool. So what do you guys think of this? Oh, well, there's some $10 bids popping up immediately, so I guess that means we're selling it. It does kind of look like pilot's wings, and it's about that size as well. Randy and Pete hung up at 10, but that probably won't last. I'm sure we'll get 12 or 15 here at some point. Just past the 30-second mark. Kevin L at 12. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Adjust scope. Yep. Yep, because we're coming down to the wire on it. Kevin L at 12. We're ticking away. We're getting close to the end. Ron, 14. Randy, 19. And that does it. Randy at 19. JP had a 15, but it was covered up by the 19. Kevin had a 15, but it was too late. Randy at 19, which is really about what I figured. I figured it was 15 or 20 bucks. So Randy Caldwell at 19. Randy, have you won before? Or is this your first one? All right, first one for Randy. Congrats to Randy on his first auction win on a cool little caddy badge. That's kind of a neat way to start off, isn't it? All right, we're going to do one more before we get it, and then we'll get into a brochure and the promo model and some things like that. We'll see how long we're going to go tonight. Hudson badge. A while back, and I mean like a year or two, I found some of these, and we did sell 3 or 4 batches of them, and everybody loved them, and everybody thought they were super cool. Well, I came up with a few more, so we're going to try them again and see. Maybe some of you guys didn't get them last time. Maybe you weren't here last time we did them, but I think these things are super cool, and I think you guys are going to like them as well. What we've got next, watch out for Randy. He might be on a roll now. He might be ready to go out and win some more stuff. Are some of these miniature oilers. These were for like household oil. Glenn's got a 10. That must have been really old. Whoa, this actually had a little bit of oil in it. I just squirted some on my notepad. Well, that didn't work out very well. I literally just squirted a drop of oil on my notepad. So we know it works. But check out this little dude. 10 on the oiler. Okay. These things are cute. And we're gonna do 3 of them. You're gonna get this one, a straight tip, an angle tip, and a little stubby dude. These things are just cute as a button. This one says Eagle, patent applied for, made in the USA. Randy, 20. Eagle, patent applied for, made in the USA. Glenn at 25. About 1 3/4 inches by 3.5. 3.5 3/4 inches. These are also about 1 3/4 inches base. This particular one, about 5 1/8 on this one, all the way to the tip. The straight one is a hair shorter, I believe. Yeah, about 4.5. Actually, I think this one's broke off. So anyway, like I said, the last time I found a batch, everybody thought they were super cool. I don't remember if I got how many of these I got. I think there might be a couple more, but I don't have as many as I got last time, I don't think. But there's a lot of them are different. They're not always all the same either. So, but they are neat little dudes. All right, all 3 of them. One money deal on the timer. Glenn at 25. Big job, 35. 30 seconds gone. All three, one deal. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Big job at 35. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Randy, 37, as we're coming down to the wire. We're going to wait towards the end. Randy at 37. Big job, 39. Randy, 40, and that does it. Randy Ellenberger at 40. Boom, 37, 39, 40, and then it went to 130. I mean, literally that quick. That was fun. Those are just cute little cans, though. Let's catch the promo model, and then maybe we'll do a few more license plates, check out the sales brochure, see how long we feel like going tonight, because I'm getting tired. I know that. But we'll see how things go from here. Tonight's promo model. Oh, check it out. Check it out. Right for the promo model, we got another supercharged super chat from Kevin L. Supercharged super chat. As always, guys, I really appreciate the super chats. The fact that you guys think what we do here is good enough to throw a couple bucks at, it means a lot. So I do appreciate it. That's why it's always fun to whip out the supercharged super chat badge for any super chats. Yeah, you better watch out, Randy. You might want to come up with something different. I've been going with Pedro, so maybe you can come up with something else. I don't know. So anyway, didn't mean to get you in trouble, Randy. Yeah, you'll have to come up with a new account. But anyway, tonight's promo model out of the Chevrolet collection that we've been working on for over a year now. Went to the auction beginning of last September, Dad and I did. They had 84 Chevy promos. We ended up with 49 of them and got one for Tractor Mike as well. So 50 of the 84 came home with us. Yeah, that could be Austin. But I figured, even though this is it's a slightly different color, and I didn't have a 78 Camaro promo, so we can't do that one. But next week, Dylan, we originally we said next week. Then I got confused whether we were going to do it tonight or next week. But I remember we said next week because of the depending on how things went with F&E and how busy I was going to be. So next week we are giving the truck away. We'll go over that here in a minute. Hey, man from the farm made it tonight. But tonight's promo model, since Dad bought another Corvette yesterday, I thought that's what we would do tonight. Dad's Corvette is bright red. However, this promo model that we have for the 1976 Stingray Coupe is more of a burgundy. Hey, there's Steve. But I thought, hey, it's appropriate. Dad bought a 76 Coupe yesterday, so let's get out a 76 Coupe and check it out. We can see the 76 on the plate on this one. As with all of the Chevy promos out of this collection, just absolutely amazing condition. There goes the hearts. That's a good sign. Original tires, wheels. Everything just right as rain on these things. Lots of hearts. Lots of hearts. Holy cow. As with all these promos, the bottom side not very detailed. One piece of injection molded plastic. However, the funny part about it is a lot of these cars from the 70s, they didn't miss the catalytic converter on the details. However, this being a Corvette, it does show, where's my pin at? The spare tire wheel and everything back there. The hearts are still flowing. So even though Dad's car is bright red with a black interior, the promo we had for 76 out of that collection, which at least we had one, for the car, burgundy on the 1976 Stingray promo out of the Chevy promo collection. Yeah. So cool piece. So thought it would be appropriate to do the 76 Corvette tonight since Dad bought a 76 Corvette yesterday. So let's touch base on the raffle real quick. Hubcap brought that up. We needed to talk about it anyway, so just as good a time as any. Next week is when we're going to give away this super cool, stubby little Tonka tow truck. I think it's all original except this chain and hook. That looks modern. The rest of this thing is original paint, original decals, all original tires and wheels, including the duals. It's not beat up too bad. It's not tore up. I mean, it's got some chips and scratches because it was played with. But from what some of you guys found on the internet, this is early 50s era Tonka. Original paint, original decals, right around almost 75 years old on this little Tonka stubby tow truck for next week. And Dad had a box of toys, and he gave me a few smaller ones, so we may grab one of those as well for a second prize. And then, of course, we'll draw a name for free entries into the next raffle. Oh, I know, I do a big job, but I'm not that smart. Not very sharp right here. I didn't push it real hard last night, and I was only down here till 11:30 since I had a long day, so I didn't push it real hard. I was home by midnight last night, but and I slept in this morning. I set my alarm for a lot later than normal today, so I didn't even wake up until 7. So, and I wasn't even. It was like 8:05 before I even got to the shop this morning. So I took it easy and slept in this morning and got down here late. So, but I do still need to catch up a bit. But who got into the raffle this week? New entries. If I didn't read your name and you thought you got in this week, be sure to let me know. Matt Williams, Ron Levesque, Michael Glagola, Tony Napoli, and I guess that's it. Those are the ones from this week that are in the raffle. Oh. So, should we do a couple more auction pieces? Auction a couple more things. I've got a sales brochure out tonight. Like I said, we're doing it kind of loose tonight, guys. Whatever you think, whatever you want to do, just let me know. That didn't take long to get answers on that. Squeeze a few more auction pieces in. We've got a great sales brochure here if we get to it. So we'll see how things go. Let me see what else we got in the stack of license plates out of this big collection. That's pretty nice. There you go, Randy. Wake up's here. I don't know. That might be a little too awake. I don't know. I never tried that, but I could do some Mountain Dew, but then I do need to sleep at some point tonight too. Yeah, this is cool. And like I said, I've got 8 or 10 plates out here tonight, if we get to all of them. But the reason I chose these was to show you guys some of the diversity in this collection. And here's another example of it. This next plate, and it's a great looking plate. I mean, condition on this thing is great. It's got a little bit of surface rust, but not bad. On this 1935 Kansas. This plate is 90 years old, and look at this thing. Black background, orange letters, bent just a little bit, but look at the condition on this thing for being 90 years old. We've got a little bit of surface rust over here. Backside still looks good. This is one of the longer, narrower plates, so we're going to give you the dimensions on it to refresh you on those. This is 14 and a half. She is, that is true, man, from the farm. She is. By about almost 4.5 on these. These are narrower and longer than our standard 12 by 6 plates. Rush County, yep. Yeah, we'll do a few more. We'll see how things shake out, you know. And maybe we'll just wrap her up here at 9 or a little after. I don't know. We'll see how it goes and see how things shake out from here. But my neck would quit hurting. That would help too. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Right? All right. 1935, 90 years old. Really an amazing condition for, let's go till midnight. Pretty sure that probably will not happen for me. Mark started us off at 25. Great looking piece. Like I said, I'm showing you some of the diversity in this collection. There is older stuff in here. I've got some more here as well, depending on how far we get tonight. Let's get this thing rolling. Mark at 25. Timer is on, and here we go. Yep, 13s are pretty old too. 30 seconds gone. I'll second that, Randy. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. Mark at 25. They scare everybody off. I kind of doubt it for as good as this plate is, but we'll see. But I know we're coming down to the end. We're getting close to the end. We're going to find out here real shortly if Mark scared everybody off with the 25 or if they're just waiting. Nope, Ron at 30. And that does it. Ron just had to jump up with a 30, and that's all it took. The payment information, if you want to use PayPal, Randy, or check or money order, is all in the description part of the video. So after we get done, if you go back and click on the text part of the video, that information is in there as well as my number. Good point, Kenny. So you can mail me a check. You can do PayPal, friends and family. Just make sure you put a note on there of what it was for auction items, and then I can match the name up or whatever we need to do. If you don't put all the information in there, but put as much information in there as you can for as many packages as I ship a week between eBay and then other parts sales, all this type of stuff. It adds up pretty quick. So, but yeah, and then worst case scenario, Randy, if you're not sure, just call me. My number's in there. Give me a shout. We'll walk through what works for you. And that's what a lot of these guys have done over the years. I know a lot of guys send checks. They'll maybe buy something tonight, then maybe buy something next week, and then they'll put a check in the mail for all of it. PayPal, friends and family works fine too. I always have those I print first thing in the morning. So it's whatever works for you, Randy, but we'll figure it out. Don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. Let's shake it up a little bit again, too. There again. And even if we don't get through all these plates tonight, we'll show you some more of them next week. But just sharing some of the diversity on some of this stuff. See which end this needs to come out of. It's upside down. Motorcycle. 71 300. It's still got, this is dust. Just dust on this thing. I haven't even looked at it. There's a little bit of surface rust right here on this zero. Ness County 1971 cycle. Hey, there's Tractor Mike. Tim B starting us off at 10. Like I said, this is all dust. In fact, I'm just going to wipe it off with a little bit of glass cleaner since this one is dusty. I haven't looked at these. So brand new 1971 motorcycle. There we go. A little better without the dust. Original envelope. And kind of a cool piece. These are a different size. These are smaller. Motorcycle plate 7 3/4 by 3 7/8. Sounds great, Randy. Glad you're here hanging out with us. So there it is, original envelope number 300. Right there, ready to go. Tim at 10, let's get this thing rolling. Tractor Mike at 12. $30 seconds gone. One minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Tractor Mike at 12. Taking away, coming out of the end. Mark 13, big job 30. And that does it. Big job with a knockout punch. 14, 15, but big job with a knockout punch at 30. Not messing around at all. He was anticipating they were sure that they were coming, so big job came in with a knockout punch and covered everything. Let's do another hubcap. This is one that we sold last summer that never got paid for again. It's kind of banged up a bit, but it's still kind of a cool looking, there again, decorator type piece. On this old Chevy cap from the mid-30s. Sounds good, JP. Glad you were here. Good to see you this weekend, Jeff. Mid-30s era Chevy cap. Check this one out. All kinds of little dingies and dents. Still got some original blue paint in the bow tie. Metal back with a chrome cap on it. And this is kind of a little dude. He's only 8 inches across. A lot of these dog dish caps are like 10, 10 and a half, 11. This guy's 8 inches across. So cute little cap. These little dimples are all actually stamped in here with the bow tie. And then a ridge around the outside edge here. It does have a lot of character. It's just kind of a cute little cap. So anyway. That's going to be your new name for Pete, isn't it? Ron at 10. Hey, Michael stopping by tonight. Ron starting us off at 10 on the little Chevy cap. Michael at 11. $30 seconds gone. That's funny, John. 1 minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Michael at 11. About ready to wrap it up. Here we go. Coming out of the end. Mark 13. Tim B 16, and that does it. Tim B at 16. Kevin at a 7. Kevin Brown out there hiding in the background. Taking a shot, just a hair late. How about a sales brochure tonight, guys? I do have a brochure laid out. That's about the last piece I have. We can do the brochure, maybe a couple more auction pieces, then probably call it a night. Is that cool with you guys? How about a Hudson badge? I'm sure we're all cool with that, and an Auburn badge as well. So obviously I've got this massive sales literature collection that is just knock your socks off. We've been talking about it over the last several weeks. It's been awesome. And I was thinking last night, I was attempting to think last night, kind of more along the lines of the truth, but I was attempting to think. But that was pretty interesting, John. You probably can't actually type out what she really said, but when I was attempting to think last night about what we hadn't been doing on sales brochures, because obviously I don't want to do like all Fords or all Chevys or all Pontiacs or all Nash. I wanted, there's hundreds, if not thousands of pieces here. So I want to keep it new and exciting with different stuff. One thing I realized when I was attempting to think last night, we haven't been doing much of our trucks. And yes, there are truck brochures in here as well. So let's check out the truck brochure for Chevrolet from 1942. Look at this, guys. Sounds great, Michael. Appreciate it. That's a lot of hearts. That's a lot of hearts. That's like a river of hearts. Pete's throwing up hearts. I figured you guys would dig it. Let's check it out. I haven't looked at it. Yep, hand drawn. Truck buyers know truck values. Value is what you get for what you pay. From research, engineering, purchasing, manufacturing, the proving grounds, performance, as well as service and parts. This is why truck operators buy more Chevrolets than any other truck. Whoa, check this out, guys. 60 models, 9 wheelbases, a truck to fit your hauling needs. I'm going to show you this picture, and then we're going to talk about what they just said in here. It's a good piece, guys, and I'm looking. I had not opened it till tonight. I saw the front covers, all I had seen. But one thing I want to mention, and this is just, and I preach about this all the time, clarity when people call me about parts. I got a 42 Chevy truck. Which one? There are 60 different models in 42. This is what a lot of people don't realize. 42 Chevy truck is 60 different questions at one time. I need parts for my 42 Chevy truck, and that's all you tell me. That gives me 60 different options. A lot of great comments, and we're only on the third page or so. A choice of famous Chevrolet truck 6-cylinder engines. The standard engine, the Loadmaster engine, the economy engine, each with Chevrolet's famous valve-in head design. I got a haircut last week, so. There's one on eBay for $50. Comfortable driver is an efficient operator. The world's largest exclusive commercial body plant builds Chevrolet unit designed bodies, the beds, the flat beds, all of this. And yes, what a lot of people, but you put it up on TV. Awesome, guy. I appreciate that. What a lot of people don't realize, there again, I need a bed for my Chevy truck. Well, these were all factory beds. Stake beds, flat beds, of course, the regular pickup beds. Those were all beds for 42 Chevy trucks. Oh, check these out, guys. Rosedale Grocery and Royal Cleaners, the light delivery panel and the double duty to package delivery. Oh, and remind me, guys, if you want to see something even cooler for 42 Chevy trucks, when we get done, let me know. I think I got it right outside the door in the shop. Believe it or not, I got something cooler than this, literature-wise, for 42 Chevy trucks. The light delivery pickup and the light delivery Canopy Express. The carry-all Suburban. The sedan delivery, which was car-based. And the coupe pickup. Anybody ever heard of coupe pickup? Yeah, coupe pickup. You never heard of one? Glenn has. The carry-all Suburban and the sedan delivery. Obviously, we can see the sedan delivery is over here in car-based. As well as the coupe pickup. Yes, they did have pickup beds where you could take the trunk lid off a coupe and put a pickup bed on it. The chassis, where you could get a chassis where you could build your own body. It was kind of the first El Camino. The 3/4 ton panel and the 3/4 ton special panel with a longer wheelbase. The 3/4 ton pickup and the 3/4 ton stake bed. The 3/4 ton chassis. This is a thick brochure, guys. There's a lot of information in here. The heavy duty panel and the heavy duty Canopy Express. One more time on the chassis. You want to see the 3/4 ton chassis again, Tractor Mike? A 3/4 ton chassis? Is that what we were after? Yeah, these were all straight 6s. The heavy duty pickup and the heavy duty stake bed. That's exactly what they are, Mark. None of them ever get used for this type of stuff. Now, there's one thing I do want to point out here. On these heavy duties. Now, if we look at the specs, this looks, I mean, we got bigger tires and wheels. It's a heavy duty pickup. We can tell that, right? What we can't really see, and we need to look at the specs so you guys understand this. You know, anymore we're used to short bed pickups with a 6-foot bed, maybe something with an 8-foot bed. But if we look at the specs on this, look at the inside dimensions on the bed. 108 inches. That bed had 108 inches inside. Which is something a lot of people don't realize. They say you need a bed for your truck. A lot of Chevrolet offered a 9-foot bed for a lot of years. Regular pickup bed, but it was a 9-foot bed. Heavy duty stake deluxe, heavy duty high rack. Look at this bed where it goes around the fenders and finishes out around the front of the truck up to the cab. That's exactly right, John. There's no doubt about that. The heavy duty chassis. Oh, check this out. Got one of these sitting next door. Heavy duty cab over engine. The COEs, those are good looking trucks, just like the one that we've got right next door that we bought on American Pickers. If you guys haven't seen that content, be sure to check out those videos. It's a 41 or 42 COE, Chevy COE that we bought on American Pickers. I've got it in the building next door, but we did do some content with that years ago when I very, very first started doing YouTube. There's lots of room in Chevrolet's cab over engine. And the COE chassis, which this is kind of different when you look at this. When we look at, we'll spend a few minutes on this picture here as well. Check this out. When you look at this COE chassis, look right around the engine here, how this is all built, almost kind of boxed in for that COE. School buses. Yes, Chevrolet school buses. Personalize your Chevy truck with Chevrolet's two-tone color combination. It's at no extra cost. Check this out, guys. Okay, so you want me to go get the other book? Okay, I'll go get the other book here in a minute. Like the 50-something you pulled the hood from. I'm not sure which one that one was, Gal. Optional equipment for your 1942 Chevy truck. What kind of options could you get? Now, today when you go order a new pickup, you're talking sunroofs, touch screens. How big do you want your touch screen to be? I mean, just power windows, locks, power seat, that stuff is almost a given anymore. You know, do you want your steering wheel heated, your seats cooled and heated? Yeah, the color combinations were great, John. So, you know, you want cloth upholstery, leather upholstery. I mean, there's just so many options and ways you can tweak a pickup anymore. So if we're getting ready to order a Chevy truck in 42, what can we learn about that? You could get a 2-speed rear axle, a heavy-duty front axle, a heavy-duty single-speed rear axle, an economy rear axle, an oil bath air cleaner, double-acting shock absorbers, long rear view mirror, right-hand rear view mirror, both options, screen equipment for the canopy, a right-hand front seat. If you were doing good, you could get a right seat. Long running boards and rear fenders for single wheelers. Long running boards and rear fenders for dual wheels. Vacuum booster brake on heavy duty. Take a look at some of this stuff that was available for options. PTO does not list a PTO. The heater was an option as well, but it doesn't specifically list that. Oh, you got to see these special bodies too, guys. All right, let's check out some of the options. And then check this out. This is crazy. Special bodies for virtually every use and purpose. For service with state, county, and municipal governments, with public utilities, contractors, businesses having specialized needs, are obtainable from body manufacturers for mounting on the Chevrolet chassis or for use with the Chevrolet tractor unit. Okay, we're going to do these one page at a time. Check these out. That's right, options for every job. fuel truck, trash truck, dump truck, milk truck. Up there with Playboys. And remember, Randy, we have thousands more to look at. On the next page, gas truck, street washer, concrete mixer, gravel or crushed stone loader, high lift coal truck, highway maintenance with snow plow, fire engine, refrigerator truck, and yes, believe it or not, a sleeper. You all right there, guy, the car guy? Yeah, I don't know how many brochures are in this deal, but it's hundreds, if not into the thousands. And you can't see much on this, but it does actually give a full breakdown on a spec chart as well. And then on the back page, wherever you go, one of Chevrolet's 8,000 dealers is ready to serve you. So you guys wanted me to run and grab that other 42 Chevy truck piece of literature, or do you want to catch it later? Because this is a pretty cool piece. So I think it's right outside the door. If you want me to go grab it, I'll go grab it. If not, we'll catch it later. I'm getting tired, I know. Let's mix it up. Now you're ready to see it now. I think it's right out there. Let me go grab it and see. Or see if it's there and then grab it. I got to jump over the auction pile here. I made it. It's okay. I made it. It's all right. All right. Okay. We're not going to get into this tonight. I'm going to show it to you, but this would be an all-night deal. Obviously, we just looked at a pretty cool 42 Chevy truck brochure. I picked this up because that cab over we've got is a 41 or 42, and I came across this book at a swap meet, so I went ahead and picked it up as well. But if you were going to order a new 1942 Chevy truck, you were going to sit down with a salesman and decide what you needed on your truck. I also have the 42 Chevy truck salesman's album. This is the thick book the salesman would have used to go over the specifics of your 42 Chevy truck. It has tabs at the bottom to flip to what section you wanted to see. Yeah, that's a good point, Wake Up. But let's flip to COE, since that's what we've got, and that's why we have this book and where our interest was at primarily. But when we flip to COE, it gives you the different wheelbases, and then you can pick what you need it to be, and then go get the specific information on that particular truck to see if that's going to fit your needs. And you can do this for anything in here. How about the coupe pickup we were talking about? Yes? The coupe pickup is covered in this album. So, like I said, this book could go on forever. It is literally that thick of information on 42 Chevy trucks. And there's a lot of neat stuff in it. Check this out. Now, who remembers when you were a little kid and you get like those pop-up books? Glenn used to know where there's a Chevy pickup coupe at. That's cool. Who remembers pop-up books from when we were kids, where you could pull something, turn something, and something would move in the pictures? Guy, the car guy, remembers it. I remember them. You know, it gave you some activity to keep you engaged. So, okay, a lot of you guys are remembering them. Because I'm not going to show you all this stuff, but man, this stuff is so great. You want to know how the 42 Chevy truck steering gear worked? Oh wow! Holy cow, guys, this is insane. A couple more things I'm going to show you, and then we're going to get ready to wrap up because we could be in this thing forever. Step in and see. Open the door, pull the slide, see some of the special feature designs and construction that bring so much enthusiastic praise from Chevrolet drivers. Guys, this is crazy. Okay. So we've got our Chevy truck here, right? We've got our Chevy truck here. So let's take a peek inside. So let me see if I can get my hand over here and hold the door and still balance this thing. And let's check out the features. Insulation, defroster, spacious compartment, durable construction. All these features, the book shows you when you pull it down. There's a lot of hearts. That's a lot of hearts, and they're still going. How cool is that? All right, I'm going to show you a couple more things, and then we're gonna have to bail out of this thing. or we're going to be here all night. We may be here all night anyway. Chevrolet's specialized four-way lubrication. So, how does Chevrolet lubrication system work? Obviously, that was a big deal. I mean, you didn't even have an oil filter in 42. So a lot of stuff. I mean, splash lubrication was pretty common. Mark, more oxys. We'll see if we squeeze. Oh yeah, this book could be a huge episode. So we're going to look at one more thing, and then we're going to bail out of it. But just to give you guys one more taste for when we start doing this, Chevrolet's four-way specialized lubrication system. Just bear in mind, guys, if you can't take massive amounts of coolness, because this is like a lot of coolness in one shot, you might want to turn away. I'm going to give you a Hudson badge and an Auburn badge because the amount of coolness you're about to witness, if you can't handle excessive amounts of coolness at one time, you may need to look away from the screen. As we explore how Chevrolet's specialized four-way lubrication system works. How cool, how crazy cool is that? Shows the flow of the oil going around the crankshaft, how the system is pressurized with the piston and the rod going up and down. Yeah, right there, Big Red. And there's more of it, guys. Like I said, there's more interactive things in this book. It is crazy. Yes, 1942 Chevrolet, the gold book of truck values. When you sat down with the salesman to order your new 1942 Chevy truck, this was the book he pulled out of his desk drawer that you started looking at. The hearts are still going, which is insane. But yeah, how crazy, insanely cool is that? And we're just getting into it. Like I said, we could spend a ton of time with this. But we don't have that kind of time tonight. But I told you guys I'd show you something else cool. And maybe we do a little bit of this over the next several weeks. I don't know. Whatever you guys think. But it is an amazing piece of literature. Okay, you guys want to catch a couple more auctions and then wrap it, or what do we want to do? Yeah, I can see that, Bill, sitting there playing with the pop-ups all the time. Well, we ain't done a grease cap yet. Let's do a grease cap maybe. Oh, that's cool. We'll do that one later. Let's catch a grease cap. We haven't done a grease cap tonight. We need to do one of these. This is whammied a little bit, but it's really clear. I was actually going to wash this, and then I decided not to because it's so cool just in the way it is. On this Buick grease cap, probably from the mid-20s, I'm going to point out why I didn't wash this. Obviously, the Buick is nice and clear. It's easy to read. The hex head around here, round across the back, internal thread like these all are. We can see the Buick in the back where it's cast into it. But I was going to start cleaning this up and polishing it up, but it looks like, as the more I looked, there's a little bit of black left in here, like this background would have been black. There's kind of some greenish, yellowish in here, like this thing was like sitting in the weeds and had like some moss growing on it or something. I was going to wash this. I thought, this thing with this old paint, this old mossy looking stuff, and this thing's been in a box for decades. So it hasn't been on a car. I didn't just take this off of a car. But, yeah, that's true, Scott. But that's all essentially the same as 41 and 46 too. So, but you're right, Scott. They didn't make a ton of them because of the war effort, but still some great literature pieces. Exactly, Randy. It's more character, and we put this stuff in our shops and our man caves because of the stories and conversation. I was like, I could polish this up, make the Buick shine a little bit, things like that. But I was like, I just really kind of like it the way it is. It's just kind of more honest, I guess. And sometimes they're so nasty and crusty that you have to clean them. But this one looked good and just presented well the way it was. Like, I'm not gonna. It could mess it up. I'm gonna leave it. Across the hex part of this Buick cap, it's about 2 3/4 in diameter across the hex part. Now, the round part here in the back is about 3.5 across here. So, not the rarest grease cap, but one that's really cool, kind of tells an interesting story. Let me get the timer ready here, get some notes made, and you guys tell me where we're going to start off on the Buick cap. And you're right, Randy. It's almost like the mystique of it. 15, but Mark's going to polish it. That's fine. And you guys can polish it. I'm totally good with that. It's however you want to display. I mean, you could polish this up, repaint the black background, and it would look amazing. Ron at 30. So you can kind of do whatever you guys want to do with them, but it's just a neat piece as is. So we're on the timer. We've got Ron at 30. Wake up at 31. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. One minute gone. 30 seconds left on the Buick grease cap. Wake up at 31. We're ticking away. We're getting close. We got a little bit of time left, but not a lot. Wake up at 31. Ron, 35. And that does it. Ron at 35. Cool looking piece. Wake Up had a 36 in there and it was too late. Okay. Want to do anything else? What else do you guys want to do? If we want to do one or two more pieces, or we want to wrap her up? Good comments. Wake Up. You kind of covered it all there. Okay. I've got a can laying here that I've kind of been on the fence about. If we've got any Chrysler fans out there. We have any Chrysler fans out there for cans? I've got one or two more. Okay. We got some other cans. We got other grease caps. Got regular hubcaps. License plates, of course. That's nobody likes Mopars. another grease cap. I got another grease cap laying here. It's not a real rare one, and it's whammy, but it looks kind of cool. Let's just do it. I got it in my hand. Essex. Got a pretty good hickey over here, but I love the face on this one. Nice and clear, crisp. Let's see the Chrysler can. Okay, we'll look at the Chrysler can next. I already showed them this. The Chrysler can I've been on the fence about for a while, so other than the hickey over here, this thing looks really good. This appears to be, it was originally a black background on the Essex. Across the hex part of the Essex, it is 2 1/4. So it's 2 1/4 across here. The outside ring is about 3 1/4 out here. This is internal thread. It's still greasy on the inside. The ding is character. That's true. And the great part about it, you got the character out here, but you didn't mess up the Essex. Like that. It'll buff out. Yep. First car is a 27 Essex. So anyway, who wants to start us off on the Essex grease cap? Then we'll mark at 10. Then we'll look at the Mopar can, and then we'll kind of get ready to wrap up. So I've got mark at 10 on the Essex grease cap. $30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Mark at 10. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Mark at 10. That's it. It's still a pretty good buy. Even though these aren't real rare ones, that's still a pretty good buy. Ron, 15. Taking it away from him. John, 16. Mark, 17. And that does it. Mark at 17. Tim B at 18. I had Mark at 17 as I hit the 130 mark. So we'll mark that one to Mark. I got this one can, maybe one more plate, and then we'll wrap it up for the evening. How's that sound, guys? All right, this Mopar can, I got to... Yeah, they were all over out there. This is a 60s era Mopar can. This had a paper label on it, which fortunately is still mostly intact. This can was from what was considered Mopar's service line. They would have oil filters and parts and chemicals for other makes of cars. So if you showed up at a Chrysler dealer, they would have other stuff that work on your cars with. That's why this can has this green coloring on it. This is a paper label can for cooling system, rust resistor, and water pump lubricant. It is an original Mopar can. It does have some discoloration in it. It does have a tear over here on this side. It does still have the part number and everything on it. It has the original cap on it. Multi-purpose line Mopar cooling system and water pump lubricant. Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, you all right there? You everything okay? So let's see what happens on this, because I mean, if this doesn't bring like 25 or 30 bucks, I'll put it back on the shelf. Even though it's not perfect, it's still a great can. So what do you guys think? Is there any interest in it, first off? Because these OE cans are really tough to find. obviously, you know, when there were service stations on every corner, you can find the gas and oil stuff. Dealer stuff, definitely not as hard to find, or definitely harder to find. Ron at 20. So Ron's just basically throwing that out there saying we're going to do it. I guess, is that kind of what we're saying, Ron? Instead of starting at 5 or 10, it's like, let's go. Wake up at 25. Be from before. No, it was used with antifreeze. Rust resistor. Well, wake up at 25. I guess you guys are telling me that we're going to sell it. So, all right, here we go. Let me give you the dimensions because you guys do like it. It is 7 1/4 all the way to the top. 7 1/4 all the way to the top. And it is 2 5/8 across the bottom. Sounds good, Michael. Glad you were here. I guess we're going to sell it. Let's go. We are on the timer, and we are live. Wake up at 25 on the Mopar Rust Inhibitor Cooling System can. Wake up at 25. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. One more plate after this, and then we're going to call it an evening. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Wake up at 25. Coming out of the wire. Is that it? Nobody's jumped in since Ron and Wake Up started it off. We're coming down to the end. We're going to see what happens. It's ticking away. Ron, 28. And that did it. Wow, we got that in at about 126. Ron at 28. That was a pretty good shot. Okay, one more plate, and then we're going to call it a night, guys. We'll do one more new one, and then we've got some other old ones we'll save for next week, all out of this batch I just got. Once again, what's in here? Let's see. Okay, are you ready? Looks like it's black and gold. (1968) Kiowa County 2190. Look at the back of this thing. There is a little bit of surface rust right here. Wow. There goes the hearts again. Yeah. Pretty amazing. That thing is 57 years old. Fresh out of the envelope, 1968, KW, Kiowa County, 2190, Midway, USA. This is stamped in here, the shape of the state, around the corner. And who's going to kick us off? Brand new 1968 plate, just out of the envelope. From Greensburg, Kansas. Ron at 25. We'll get this one wrote up. As we're ticking away. Coming up on the 30-second mark, Ron's out there swinging right out of the gate. That might be it. I don't know. It's a beauty, though. Just past that 30-second mark, less than 60 seconds left to go, and then we're going to find out if that makes it happen. One minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Ron at 25. There you go, Ron. Wake up, 26. Mark 27, and that does it. Mark at 27. Now, I thought Wake Up had that locked up. Wake Up came back at 30. And about 128, Mark snuck in there. Put her back away. That one was close. But Mark snuck around Wake Up and got it done. Wow. Whew. Okay, guys. I am tired. I don't know about you, but I am tired. Yeah, that was a good shot. That was pretty good. I gotta give you credit for that. But anyway, guys, we went almost full course anyway. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm whipped. Obviously, I've had a long week. This week, what's coming up? We'll shoot for going ahead and jumping back on Toy Tuesday. That's where I'm headed here, Mark, here shortly. I'm going to shove this pile out of the way so I can get out of here. And I'm going to try to get some sleep tonight. Get back on a normal schedule tomorrow. We got to get the podium and everything tore down and get that stuff picked up. So we'll shoot for doing Toy Tuesday live. Like I said, Wednesday and Friday night, we will get some more content up for you guys. New member videos as well. Thanks to you guys all for being here and making this what it is. Your participation is what makes this a chat. 68, Mark. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the kind comments, but without your guys' participation, I would just be a dum-dum sitting here in front of a webcam. You guys being here and making this a full-blown interactive chat is what makes it fun, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate your support on the channel and watching the videos and hanging out with us and doing what we do. So thanks for being here, and thanks for what you guys do to help it make things move forward. The hype buttons on the videos, hit those if you can. Hit the likes, share them with your friends. Glad all you guys are having fun. Appreciate all the kind comments from all of you guys here just in the last minute or so that enjoy hanging out. We'll see some of you Tuesday night for some Toy Tuesday, and if nothing else, we show up to see you here right back here. Same bat time, same bat station. Next Sunday night, we're going to give away this super cool little Tonka tow truck. Maybe I will be able to talk next week. Maybe I will be caught up on some rest, and we'll see how things go. But anyway, thanks for being here tonight. And making this what it was. See some of you Tuesday, and if not, we'll show up to see you next Sunday. Have a great week, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us here tonight.